What happens when desperation meets federal courtroom security? That's exactly what has social media exploding with speculation about dramatic courtroom moments involving Sean "Diddy" Combs. When powerful defendants face the reality of life imprisonment, the unthinkable can happen. Carefully planned legal strategies give way to pure panic. But what could drive a music mogul who built an empire on calculated decisions to potentially risk everything in a moment of desperation? What goes through someone's mind when they realize their freedom might be gone forever? Stay tuned as we explore the shocking psychology of courtroom desperation and what federal security measures exist to prevent the unthinkable from happening. The current courtroom proceedings. Sean "Diddy" Combs has appeared in federal court multiple times since his September 16, 2024 arrest, facing racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation charges that carry potential sentences up to life imprisonment. Each court appearance has drawn intense media attention and public scrutiny. Federal courtrooms in Manhattan, where Diddy's case is being heard, feature extensive security measures designed to prevent any disruptions or escape attempts during high-profile proceedings. The Southern District of New York handles numerous high-stakes criminal cases and maintains sophisticated security protocols. The psychological pressure of facing potential life imprisonment can create extreme stress for defendants during court appearances. Legal experts note that the formal atmosphere of federal courtrooms, combined with the gravity of charges, can overwhelm defendants who have never faced serious legal consequences. Questions arise about how someone accustomed to luxury and control might react to the restrictive environment of federal court proceedings and the reality of potentially spending life in prison. The implications could suggest that courtroom stress might affect behavior in unexpected ways. Federal marshals and court security officers are trained to recognize signs of distress or potential disruption during court proceedings, particularly in cases involving defendants facing severe potential sentences. Federal courtroom security protocols. Federal courtrooms employ multiple layers of security designed to ensure the safety of all participants and prevent any attempts to disrupt legal proceedings. These measures include metal detectors, armed security personnel, and specialized restraint procedures for high-risk defendants. The U.S. Marshals Service is responsible for courthouse security and prisoner transport, with extensive training in managing high-profile defendants who might pose flight risks or security concerns. Their protocols include psychological assessment and behavioral monitoring during court appearances. High-profile federal cases often involve additional security measures beyond standard courtroom protocols, including increased personnel, enhanced screening procedures, and specialized transport arrangements designed to prevent escape attempts or security breaches. Legal experts note that federal security measures are designed to be both visible and discreet, providing comprehensive protection while maintaining the dignity of court proceedings. Questions arise about what specific measures might be employed for defendants facing life sentences. The architecture of federal courtrooms includes design elements specifically intended to prevent escape attempts, including controlled access points, reinforced barriers, and strategic positioning of security personnel throughout proceedings. The psychology of courtroom desperation. Criminal psychology research reveals that defendants facing life imprisonment often experience extreme psychological stress that can manifest in unpredictable behavior during court proceedings. The finality of potential life sentences can trigger panic responses in individuals who have never faced such consequences. The transition from freedom to potential lifetime incarceration represents one of the most severe psychological traumas individuals can experience. Legal experts note that this stress can affect judgment and decision-making in ways that seem irrational to outside observers. Federal defendants who have lived lives of wealth and control often struggle with the powerlessness of their legal situation, creating psychological pressure that can build throughout lengthy court proceedings. The implications could suggest that accumulated stress might eventually overwhelm rational decision-making. Questions arise about how someone who built their identity around success and control might psychologically process the possibility of spending their entire life in federal prison. The situation leaves room for speculation about whether extreme stress might influence courtroom behavior. Criminal psychologists note that escape fantasies are common among defendants facing severe sentences, though most individuals do not act on these thoughts due to rational assessment of consequences and likelihood of success. Historical courtroom incidents in high-profile cases. Federal courts have witnessed various dramatic incidents involving high-profile defendants who faced severe potential sentences. These precedents provide context for understanding how extreme legal pressure can affect courtroom behavior. The case of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman included multiple escape attempts from various facilities, demonstrating how defendants facing life sentences might prioritize escape over legal defense strategies. His case required extraordinary security measures throughout court proceedings. Other high-profile federal cases have involved courtroom disruptions, outbursts, and attempts to flee during proceedings, showing how the stress of potential life imprisonment can overwhelm defendants' rational decision-making processes. Legal experts note that federal courts have extensive experience managing defendants who pose flight risks or security concerns, with protocols developed through decades of handling high-stakes criminal cases. The entertainment industry has seen various courtroom incidents involving celebrities facing serious charges, though escape attempts are relatively rare due to the comprehensive security measures employed in federal proceedings. Social media speculation and viral content. Social media platforms amplify speculation about courtroom incidents involving celebrities, often creating viral content that may exceed factual information available through official court reporting. The appetite for dramatic celebrity legal content drives extensive online discussion. The entertainment industry's relationship with social media means that courtroom appearances by figures like Diddy generate immediate online reaction and speculation that can influence public perception of legal proceedings. Questions arise about how social media speculation might affect legal proceedings and whether viral theories about courtroom incidents could influence jury pools or witness testimony in ongoing cases. Legal experts express concern that social media coverage of court proceedings can create false narratives that complicate defense strategies and affect the fairness of legal proceedings in high-profile cases. The viral nature of celebrity legal content often results in speculation that exceeds factual reporting, creating situations where public perception might not align with actual courtroom events or legal developments. Federal detention and transport security. Federal defendants in high-profile cases are subject to specialized transport and detention procedures designed to prevent escape attempts and ensure courtroom security. These measures often exceed standard protocols used for typical federal defendants. The process of transporting high-risk federal defendants involves multiple security layers, including specialized vehicles, route planning, and coordination between various law enforcement agencies to ensure secure transfer to court facilities. Federal detention facilities housing high-profile defendants employ enhanced security measures, including increased surveillance, restricted movement, and specialized housing arrangements designed to prevent escape planning or attempts. Legal experts note that federal security protocols are constantly evaluated and updated based on threat assessments and the specific risks posed by individual defendants. Questions arise about what measures might be employed for entertainment industry figures facing life sentences. The implications could suggest that defendants facing severe potential sentences might be subject to security measures that exceed those used for typical federal cases, creating additional stress and restrictions during legal proceedings. The reality of federal escape attempts. Statistical analysis of federal court security incidents reveals that actual escape attempts are extremely rare due to the comprehensive security measures employed in federal facilities and courtrooms. The success rate of such attempts is virtually zero. Federal security experts note that the design of modern courthouses and detention facilities makes escape attempts practically impossible, with multiple layers of physical and technological security that would prevent successful flight. The consequences of attempting to escape from federal custody include additional federal charges that can add decades to potential sentences, making such attempts counterproductive even if they were feasible. Legal experts wonder whether defendants facing life sentences might consider escape attempts despite the practical impossibility and severe additional consequences driven by desperation rather than rational calculation. Questions arise about what psychological factors might drive defendants to consider escape attempts even when rational analysis would indicate such attempts are impossible and counterproductive. Courtroom behavior and legal strategy. Defense attorneys in high-profile federal cases often work extensively with clients to prepare them for the psychological pressure of court appearances and help them maintain composure during proceedings that might determine their entire future. The relationship between courtroom behavior and jury perception is crucial in federal cases, as dramatic outbursts or disruptions can negatively affect how juries view defendants and their credibility. Legal experts note that maintaining dignified courtroom behavior is essential for defense strategies, particularly in cases where defendants might testify on their own behalf or where character evidence might be relevant. Questions arise about how defense teams prepare clients for the psychological pressure of facing potential life sentences and what strategies might be used to help defendants maintain composure during lengthy proceedings. The implications could suggest that courtroom behavior preparation is crucial for defendants in high-stakes federal cases, where emotional reactions might affect legal outcomes and jury perception. Media coverage and courtroom access. Federal courts maintain strict rules about media access and coverage of court proceedings, particularly in high-profile cases that generate significant public interest. These rules are designed to balance public access with fair legal proceedings. The presence of media representatives in federal courtrooms can create additional pressure for defendants, who must maintain composure while knowing their behavior is being observed and potentially reported to worldwide audiences. Legal experts note that media coverage of courtroom behavior can affect public perception of defendants and potentially influence jury pools, creating additional considerations for defense strategies in high-profile cases. Questions arise about how media attention might affect defendant behavior during court appearances and whether the presence of reporters might increase psychological pressure on individuals facing severe potential sentences. The implications could suggest that media coverage creates additional psychological pressure for defendants in high-profile cases, potentially affecting their courtroom behavior and emotional stability during proceedings. Federal court technology and monitoring. Modern federal courtrooms employ sophisticated technology systems designed to monitor and record all activities during proceedings. These systems serve both security and legal documentation purposes. The technological capabilities of federal courts include comprehensive audio and video recording systems that capture all courtroom activities, creating permanent records of proceedings that can be reviewed for security purposes or legal appeals. Federal court technology also includes communication systems that allow security personnel to coordinate responses to any incidents or disruptions that might occur during proceedings. Legal experts note that the technological infrastructure of federal courts creates comprehensive documentation of all courtroom activities, making it impossible for defendants to claim that incidents did not occur as described by security personnel. Questions arise about how comprehensive courtroom monitoring might affect defendant behavior and whether knowledge of constant surveillance might increase psychological pressure during court appearances. The broader implications for celebrity defendants. The treatment of celebrity defendants in federal court proceedings must balance the need for security and fair legal process with the unique challenges posed by high-profile cases and public attention. Entertainment industry figures facing federal charges often experience culture shock when confronted with the reality of federal court proceedings, which operate according to strict protocols regardless of defendants' celebrity status or wealth. Legal experts wonder whether celebrity defendants might be more susceptible to courtroom stress due to their unfamiliarity with restrictive legal environments and the contrast between their usual lifestyle and federal court procedures. The implications could suggest that celebrity status might create additional psychological challenges for defendants who must adapt to federal court environments that treat all defendants equally regardless of fame or fortune. Questions arise about how the entertainment industry might respond to dramatic courtroom incidents involving major figures and whether such events might affect business relationships and public perception of celebrity accountability. Looking toward continued proceedings. As Diddy's federal case continues through the court system, questions remain about how the psychological pressure of facing potential life imprisonment might affect future court appearances and legal proceedings. Legal experts note that federal cases often involve multiple court appearances over extended periods, creating sustained psychological pressure that can accumulate and potentially affect defendant behavior in unexpected ways. The resolution of high-profile federal cases often requires defendants to maintain composure through lengthy proceedings that can extend over months or years, testing psychological resilience under extreme stress. Questions arise about how defense teams might help clients manage the long-term psychological challenges of federal prosecution and what support systems might be necessary for defendants facing life sentences. The implications could suggest that psychological support and courtroom behavior preparation will continue to be crucial elements of defense strategies in high-stakes federal cases involving celebrity defendants. If you're as intrigued by these courtroom dynamics as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How do you think you would handle the psychological pressure of facing life imprisonment? Do you believe celebrity defendants should receive different treatment in federal court, or should everyone be treated equally? We want to hear your perspective on courtroom behavior and federal justice. Then hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of these ongoing legal proceedings. Thanks for watching.